Thanks, Riaz. Good morning. It is 6:30. Relief this morning in Moncton as New Brunswick Mounties have captured the man believed to have gunned down 3 of their own this week. Justin Bourque was taken into custody late last night, 30 hours after the shooting deaths of 3 RCMP officers and 2 others wounded. The 24-year-old suspect was quoted as saying, "I'm done," as he was found by police outside a house. Shortly afterward, a lockdown of Moncton was lifted, allowing people to go outside for the first time since Wednesday night.
We have accomplished what we set out to do, and that was to ensure that the public was safe and that the person responsible for this was arrested without further injury or death to any other persons.
The 3 victims of Wednesday's shooting have been identified as 32-year-old David Ross, 45-year-old Fabrice Georges Jevoudang, and 40-year-old Douglas James Larch. Charges are expected to be laid against Justin Bourque later today. A suspect is in custody after a gunman attacked university students in Seattle. A 19-year-old man was killed during the rampage at Seattle Pacific yesterday, while 3 others were injured. A student building monitor managed to disarm the gunman, who was armed with additional rounds and a knife. The suspect has been named as 26-year-old Aaron Ybarra, who is not a student at the school.
Regular citizens stepped up and tried to do the right thing, and in this case, I believe they prevented a more horrible tragedy than it was today.
The latest dispute between teachers and the BC government has drained what was left of the union's strike fund. Members are back on the picket line today, but it is costing them. Greg Harper joins us live from Vancouver with more. Greg?
Good morning, Jody. Here at Templeton Secondary in Vancouver, where the picket line is up. This is now day 8 of rotating strikes involving over 40,000 public school teachers from across the province. Here's a list of the districts that are closed today as a result of this job action. They are Vancouver, New Westminster, Sauk, Campbell River, Sea to Sky, and Mission. These are among the 15 districts that are impacted by today's job action. For a list of next week's district closures, you can find that at news1130.com. The BCTF says it has enough money to finance up to 3 more days of pay for rotating strikes. Teachers get $50 for each day they spend on the picket line. In contrast, the 10% government-imposed pay cut is saving the province $1.2 million a day, while rotating strikes are saving the government $26 million each week. There is the potential of a full-scale strike by teachers in mid-June. However, Education Minister Peter Fassbender is trying to put parents and high school students at ease.
Our commitment as the employers through BCPC and the government is we will ensure that every graduate will be able to complete their required exams. They will be marked, as well as the other grades where their exams are critical. I don't have the answer on how that's all going to be done. Our staff is working on that right now. BCPC is looking at all of the options.
The president of the BCTF, Jim Eicher, will be here around 7:30 this morning. We'll have that live for you, and we will get his reaction to what our education minister had to say yesterday. Jody?
All right, Greg Harper, we are looking forward to that. Thanks so much. Delta Secondary has been hit by an apparent outbreak of the norovirus, with more than 300 students and staff affected.
They just started throwing up, and then they all just had to leave.
Well, most of my classes have only been like 8 or 10 people.
We've been calling it like the Ladner plague. Like over 300 people have been called in sick.
Students say people started falling ill this week, but the number peaked yesterday with about 1/4 of the student population calling in sick. Health officials say the symptoms are consistent with noro, a gastrointestinal illness that usually passes after 24 to 48 hours without complications. The school is undergoing enhanced cleaning, and health officials are urging students with symptoms to stay at home.
Teachers were like telling people like, okay, wash your hands, everyone wash their hands.
People were going around telling kids to go home if they were throwing up. Like, some kids couldn't go home, so like they were throwing up, like they were going like garbage can to garbage can throwing up. So yeah, it wasn't very pleasant.
Norovirus usually strikes more closed environments like cruise ships or care homes, but health officials say schools have conditions that cause explosive outbreaks of the virus. Lab tests are being carried out to confirm the outbreak. Just about 6:35 now. Let's get you up to speed on the world of sports. To the connected studios we go. Here's Carolyn Cameron.